I always crack up when you jump on these live videos, like the screenshots of your face are just hilarious to look at. So welcome to my Friday live Q&A. Usually I go on at about 4 or 5 o'clock, but today I'm just mixing it up, you know, because that's how life is. And I am lucky enough to have this amazing business BFF. Her name's Amy McCauley. She's from Power Hoop, and each week we do what we call a fame call. We jump on. It's half an hour of what the fuck are you doing this week, and it's about expansion. It's about we don't collude with each other. We don't say, oh, that's okay, babe, that you're feeling that. It's like, dude, you're feeling this. Let's shift through it. Keep going, because we know that we're here for big things. We're here to impact the world. We're here to help other women. And for those of you who don't know me, my name's Nat. Sometimes I'm nicknamed Natapult from Catapult, but I'm Catapult Your Business, and I'm here to tell you the truth, keep the journey real for you. You know, if you're leaving your corporate or you've been in biz a couple of years and it's just feeling hard, I want you to know that that's normal. Welcome to the club, but it doesn't always have to feel that way, and to support you on that journey. And I love being that cheerleading voice for you, but I'm also about that, bringing the whole, you've learned enough, it's time to action it, and that belief and confidence, belief in action with confidence is what brings you to success. So the reason I was telling you about Amy is that she said to me, Nat, you haven't told your story for so long. It's really important for you this week to tell people about your journey, your story, because I know that some of you will resonate with it, and some of you, it'll give you guys more than hope, because I don't want to be your hope story. I want to be the fuck yeah, I can do this story. So I was in a corporate job. I was running an international school in the city. It's 2 hours. It took me 2 hours a day, right? 1 hour there, 1 hour back, not including the walking I had to do to get to my job. I had to also get the kids ready. I'm a mother of 2, a 4-year-old and an 8-year-old. Back when I was in my corporate job, my baby was 6 months old, and my husband decided to stay at home. So not many people know that we did a full swap. I was earning more than my husband. It made sense that I went back to work. He was really confident with Molly, who was about 6 months old, and so I stepped into being the husband. You know, I came home after a long day, 6 or 7 o'clock at night, sometimes later. My tea would be on the table, the kids would be bathed and in bed and ready for me to read to them. I was like, wow, this is what it's like to kind of be that breadwinner and go out to work. And the biggest thing for us was that he got to see the relentlessness of being at home with children, you know, the groundhogness of it. He honestly thought, my husband's the most incredible man in the world, but he honestly thought that it was all lattes and walking. And I remember 2 weeks in, he said to me, oh my gosh, I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for bringing up our first daughter and working, and I want to thank you for the first 6 months of Molly's life. How the hell have you done this? This is relentless. And I was also able to thank him because I now know what it was like to come home to someone who was really grumpy. Because sometimes he was grumpy because it was the relentlessness of it, right? So we got to have this beautiful reciprocation of exactly what it was like with each other, and I wish that everyone could have that. But it was taking its toll on me, you know, 2 young children, running a high-level job. I started to lose myself. I didn't know I was starting to lose myself. I was putting on a lot of weight, as you do though, right? When you've had some children and you don't put yourself first, because your work comes first, your children comes first, your husband comes after that, and then you. And so I was on this mouse wheel. Even how I was dressing, how I was being. You know, a lot of people who know me now, I'm extremely driven. I'm a bit of an extrovert. Back in my corporate days, you know, I was sleeping on the bus because I was so exhausted. I I've always been a career-driven woman. Always been career-driven. So when I had my children, it was a bit of a shock. I actually thought I was going to be Martha Stewart, stay at home and be a baker, and it was all going to be frickin' roses. It frickin' wasn't. It was the shock of my life. So it's been an interesting journey. I remember when I was handpicked by my boss to lead his team, lead his school through a big receivership, and I remember that time thinking, he planted the seed, poor guy. He planted the seed that he believed in me and a leader, and I was like, wow. And I really started to believe in myself. And while I was in my corporate job, I started to do a lot of this is back when Joey Jealous and I, our children are cousins, but her and I actually started masterminding together back in her days when she had a cabin as her office. God, how we laugh about that now. But I started to get into personal development and mindset. And of course, when you do that, your paradigm shifts, right? You start to see things a lot differently. And I saw that I'd started to have that corporate cloak, I call it, where you've forgotten who the fuck you are, and you've fallen into that company's values, right? That you've just fallen straight into that, and it stops you knowing who you are and what you're all about. So I started to get fit. And so when you're getting fit and you're moving and you can see yourself changing, you're like, well, if I'm in a leadership role, I'm transforming my body, what else? And I've always known that I'm here for more. Even as a young kid, there was something about it. I didn't know what it was. I knew it would come, and I kind of had to sit into that. And I thought I had missed the boat. I honestly thought that by the time I was 30, because some things hadn't lined up, that I was a bit of a loser, and my life was kind of done and dusted. Hilarious now when I look back on that. But that's what 2 hours of traveling to a corporate job does to you, is you become so chained to the existence of that. I met some incredible people, by the way, working with them. I love them to pieces. So I was getting fit. I'd become a leader. I was getting amazing money, and I'm like, wow, this shit just doesn't happen because I'm lucky. It's because I'm taking the actions to get there. So what else am I capable of? And I started to do the personal development. Like I said, I started to think of all the things I could start to do, and online was starting to get quite big then. So I started a blog called the Hospo Toolbox, because I'm a chef by trade, so hospitality was what I knew at that time. And then it was around teaching. Anyway, I went out to do Catapult Your Career, which I started to do part-time. I was working in my corporate job, because I had the taste now. I was in my corporate job going, wow, why are all these people, these amazing women, these mumpreneurs out there running their own businesses? I want it. I want it. And once I opened that in my head, the relentlessness of getting on that damn bus, and working 60 hours for someone else just became horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. And you start to dream of other ways. And I'm definitely not a leaper, so I stepped my way out of my corporate job. So I became part-time, and I contracted to them, and then I was a business development manager for another company. And then I said to my husband, it was a very scary conversation, I've got to go, not to him, to these jobs to do my business. And I said to him, please trust me. We're losing half of our income. I've got to fly. Wow, it does amazing things to relationships to have to go through that. And he backed me fully. He said, babe, if you said you wanted to go to the moon, I would just support you. And I'm like, wow, how do you then not take action when you've got that kind of cheerleading support around you, right? So I hit the ground running, Catapult Your Career, got branding photos, got my shit together. I mean, I'd run other people's businesses for years. I'm like, I've so got this. I've so got this. 6 weeks in, I burnt out. So I'd run huge corporations, run other people's businesses, never burnt out. 6 weeks into my own business, burn out. Tantrums, toys out of the cot, exhaustion like I'd never had before. And I'm like, what is going on? I told my husband there'd be money in the bank after the first month. It was going nowhere fast. It was very, very, very scary. And I remember my first coach that I had, actually I just want to acknowledge Kate O'Brien from Henry and Bryan. I remember first meeting them, and I remember Kate was the first one who really was my catalyst for leaving my corporate job. So I, bottom of my heart, will always thank Kate. And I love what she's about. I heard this incredible woman talk, Catherine Newton, and she was talking about mindset, and I was like, I know mindset. And then she was saying, well, mindset's 89% of how you are successful. And I'm like, well, what's that about? And I suddenly realized it was the missing link for me. It was the missing link for my business. So I signed up and did her 6-month course, and I suddenly realized why my business wasn't working. And it was because I was pushing, I wasn't aligned energetically, I was just driven by money, I was coming from scarcity. It felt horrible. I wanted to go back to get a job, because what I had kind of created for my husband and I was just this beast and this monster, and I didn't know what to do about it. And because I'd always known what to do about it, I was like stuck, and it felt awful. But I think once you open that, I know, when you open that can of, you're here for more, and you want to do your own business, and you want to get online because you see other people doing it, you're like, what's the missing link? And it's the mindset, it's the daily journaling, it's the consistent actions, it's showing up. The biggest piece of advice she gave me, and I'll never ever forget it, is she said to me, Nat, you have to be realistic. This is going to take 2 years to build solid foundations, credibility, sustainability. And I was like, wow. And all this pressure lifted off, because I thought, well, I now have kind of a time frame. And of course, knowing me being a high achiever, I wanted to do it in 1 year. So I started pulling in an income and contributing to the house after a year. After I work on my mindset first, way before strategy, because all the strategy in the world didn't save me. And in fact, it burnt me out, because it was a push. And I'm sharing this story with you today because I want you girls to know that when you do want to leave your job, if you're in the process of doing it, or even if you're just first months in or first year into your business, you've got to get your mindset sorted. You've got to realize that it's all energetically aligned, and that if you don't love what you're doing and love what you're selling, and even if you had all the money in the world, that you still wouldn't not do what you're doing. It's mindset first, but just know it takes time. Like, I see other people and I'm like, wow, they're making amazing money. It's because they've been here for 7 or 8 years. They don't just suddenly turn up, boom, 6 weeks they make money. I was in a bit of a dreamland. And so that's why I'm so passionate about what I do now, is because if you know that it is going to take time, it takes that pressure off. So it means you might have to go have a part-time job. It means that you might have to go into the savings, get some investment, tell your husband it's going to take 2 years for me to be able to contribute back into the business. And so now, after 2 years, I have replaced my corporate income. Consistently for the last 7 months, I'm kicking some amazing butt. And I know what it takes to get there, and I know what not to do, but I also know that you have to go on the same journey. I can't save you from that journey. I can sure as hell hold your hand through the journey and tell you that what you're experiencing is normal, and that you are going to want to give up 100 times. But that is the life of the entrepreneur. You have to be uncomfortable to be uncomfortable. And sometimes it's like this. I know you guys know that, but I want you to know that I want to be more than a hope story for you. I mean, I have no rags to riches story. I had the most incredible, life. I've had incredible parents. Sure, my parents divorced. I'm sure it's tainted me, whatever, blah, blah. And we all have stories. We all have shit. But it held me back because I thought I wasn't a victim. I haven't had to, lose all my money. I haven't had to have horrendous things happen to me. And amazing people are born from those things, because it's our dark who brings us out to our light. I didn't show up in the world for a long time because I was like, well, who am I to do that? Crazy thoughts, right? But we all have our own stories. And so that's why I want to be your truth speaker to you and say to you, if you want to leave your job, if you want to have a business that makes money, just know that you are going to go on the biggest personal development ever in your life. It is going to be hard work. But if you surround yourself by the right people, if you know what's coming, if you know it's going to take a few years, and you just got to, surround yourself by the right people and have the right habits, it will freaking happen. And it can happen. I'm your proof. I'm your proof that it can happen. But you have to be prepared for what comes with that. And I always want to really keep that real for you guys. And the worst thing you guys can do is sit on the social media highlight reels and compare yourself to women who have been doing this for a freaking long time and who deserve to be making that money because they've been putting in hard. Yeah, hey Jude, hey gorgeous, the biggest Judy, right? Never freaking stops. So you either like it or you don't, and if it's something that really drags you down, then you need to look at probably a bit imbalanced, right? You're either like working too much and don't have any hobbies, or maybe you do need to go get that job, and that's sometimes the freaking biggest reality. So thanks to Amy McCauley, she's like, now you've got to go put your success story out there about how, I have made it and I want it to be really, hey Harriet babe, how are you? I want you to see that it can be done and it is real, but that's no frickin' pie in the sky. There's money, there's bleeding eyeballs, there's supportive husbands, there's incredible children, there's this whole support crew, and that you can do it if you have that desire. And sometimes that desire doesn't get big enough until you take that action, right? Anyway, girlfriends, I've got to go get my face massaged because I don't know if some of you know that my face actually paralyzed about 6 months ago. I got Bell's palsy, my whole face paralyzed, and so I still have to have a lot of therapy on my face around that. So I'm off to get my face beautifully massaged. Anyway, if you have liked my story and you know that someone needs to hear it, please share it out to them. Give me some likes, give me some hearts. I will also chuck out under here, desire and passion, hey babe, it's the only way. I also chuck under here my website for you to check out how you can get started with me, because this is about getting started. I run these awesome shapeshifter courses, and I have an awesome accountability group that I speak the truth and I share with you real tips, real strategies that I use to have got me here. Love you guys. See you later.